November 12th, 2025. Just another Fugflug log. Logging in about the car. Mixing and mastering, which I am going absolutely insane for. I was thinking to myself, while unloading the next load of MP3s for the memory stick to listen to, in order to, master this goddamn album, I was thinking I've spent most of my 20s, my young adult life in the car, driving to and out of work, to gigs on the weekend, and then in the evenings, mixing music, remastering albums of mine. I don't know. I treat driving like it's an art form. More importantly, I treat it like a job, which means I've allowed myself to become one of the best drivers of my cohort and of my league, but the amount of time I spend in these things, I feel like can be too much, for all I do love it. However, that's another conversation for another day, because we don't really want to talk about that right now. What we want to talk about instead is the music. At this time of speaking, I have finished up with Contronyms of the Universe and Madman in Every Corner, both in the month of October. We are now, into November, and I've got Coma pretty much done. Mo's Coma comb over. And Ghosting for Beginners right now, I think, is just about finished. I'm going to make my last notes and be done with it. And then Big Flight will be the next one, which I've almost finished in advance earlier this year. The most annoying thing about this is the amount of time and hours you have to log in just to get the album sounding from a mixed bag of cats to a well-groomed feline at the end of it, which is sackless. So the hours you have to put in to literally sort these songs out is ridiculous. I've spent so long losing my mind in the car. Now it's come to my attention that bringing a book helps enhances my productivity. Not only do I actually willingly want to go into the car now, I can actually keep productive at ×2 speed, reading and learning about new things while also observing the vibrations of the music that I have and whether or not they fit coherently and cohesively. The book I've got beside me right now on the passenger seat is Essentialism. Yeah, the disciplined pursuit of less, as it stands, which has been very interesting about maximizing efficiency of your time through different disciplines, which I think is incredible on accounts of spending my days working and my weekends gigging and driving. There's no time to actually work on things I'd like to. However, I feel the books put in respect a lot of structure to my ideas. I wouldn't say that I am the natural born essentialist to some extent. However, a lot of undertaking Fugflug while committing to so many working life and gigging life and band life, as well as other creative projects, as well as other things I want to do, like walking, for example, and catching up on sleep. I think Essentialism has really put into words what I've been kind of touching upon with my thoughts about, almost diving into one aspect of what I really want to focus on, which in this case is the music of Fugflug, and really trying to spread positive vibrational energy through my songs, as well as some humour, but really draw upon deep discourses of political and social and economic issues, which are just abhorrently prevalent in society on such a incredible yet terrifying rate and scale, manifested with AI, inflation, post-lockdown, post-Brexit, the Trump presidency, over-reliance on social media, addictions, alcoholism, drugs, smoking, and most essentially, in my respect, vaping is the main culprit of my songs, just to really warn others about them, but in a way which doesn't belittle or demonises the enemy, it just gives them an alternative view which they might not have thought about, which there are other ways to cope and deal with such pressing issues. However, climate change, on the other hand, is one I don't want to go on about for too long, for I do want to just keep this related to my music at the moment, and the albums I'm mastering do not necessarily touch upon climate change, I think, at this point, from what I've just listed just now. However, climate change really is an issue which is getting more and more, I don't want to be like pessimistic about, but it really is getting more and more out of hand, and there is very little being done. It's almost like the wars going on right now, conflict is just on the news, people talk about it, people want peace talks to happen, but when it comes down to it, it's not facilitated, and surely if you just want to facilitate this, it would have been dealt with. So why is it being prolonged and extended and darted around? But I don't know. That's just why I think the countercultural 60s deserves a new wave counterculture today, which I want to sort of spearhead, because music is a way of giving voices to people like myself who wouldn't necessarily have a voice. Is the extent of what I'm kind of wanting my mission statement to be for the ideology of Fug Flug. And the only way to do that is obviously to mix and master, which I'm doing right now in the car as the rain unleashes upon me. So bringing the book has been really interesting. There's a lot about the power of sleep and saying no. That's what I do like about this book right now. I think it really is, just sort of putting to sense what I've been thinking about. Because I've been thinking about these things so damn much. Particularly when I'm just sitting listening to my music and mastering it, I do think of other things before I brought in a book to read. We've got a big scribble around a red lettering of this. Yeah, it works well. Yeah, this log, it's been a busy month, October, but I'm so pleased with the results of it. My partnership with Gabe on the artwork. Starting a new era of Fug Flug. My, what do you call it? The new counterculture, new wave counterculture music. There's a lot of rap fatigue going on right now about rap being generic, boring, bad energy, talking about, the same old drug taking, gang violence, misogyny and so forth, which I think is severely and horrifically outdated. I can understand why this is coming, and I think the answer is obviously to listen to other genres, which I was actually raised on before we knew of rap. But more importantly, I think what will actually see greater effect will be a new shift in the vibrational energy of rap music. That music like mine, which promotes alternative viewpoints, which are more positive, empowering people, making them feel good, making them laugh, but also dealing with serious issues which people need to touch upon and think about. Raising the political awareness, the social awareness, economic awareness of the masses through music. Whether they sense it or not. Just to become that little more enlightened and educated upon things, but there we are. At the end of the day, it's all just for a laugh, isn't it? Well, the rain really is coming down hard. I've got 5 minutes to get to bed before I need to get ready for work tomorrow. But I'm not leaving this rain. Oh, wow. Yeah. It's really going nowhere. Well, Ghosting for Beginners has been quite interesting to make the master. I think I've got it down to a level where I'm happy to release it now. I'm thinking I can actually release this baby. So yeah, the car sessions aren't actually as bad as they once were, because this time last year I would have been starting the uphaul of Use Your Delusion 1 and 2 and then the best of. My gosh, that was a tough time, and it was in Christmas, winter time, when you're sitting in a cold car listening to music for like the 100th time, trying to decipher whether track 1 and 13 or 12 sound the same or not. and there's like a slight nudge to make you think that one's just slightly more louder than the other and needs to be brought down to attention. It's such a grueling process, and I just don't understand why there's no actual like tools to simplify the process or even just make it easier, which you can just put your songs into something to make it come out absolutely all at the same level, balanced, and so forth. Hurrah. Why isn't there this? We all have to just rely on our ears to do this. Even the best producers in the game are literally doing this by ear. Why has that technology not been around yet? But then again, I don't know. This is the way to do it manually, and this is the way it has to be done, so I'm doing a good job of it. I am quite happy so far, I want to say, fingers crossed, with the process of Contronyms and Madman. Those both were sounding pretty much good compared to my normal albums when I was doing this thing a couple of years ago, and I wasn't that bothered about mastering or mixing until I thought, well, if I actually properly sit these out, I'll have to do it. Well, got 30 minutes into this, and I really need to just round things up. I want to continue doing this. I've been thinking about, I should have done this talking bit. Should have done that talking bit, give my opinion, share this and that. On the last session I was in the car, but there we are. I spent this year, I've spent most of the year actually doing this stuff in advance, because I knew this would be such a time-consuming process and I'd go mad and mental by this point in the game. So I've actually done a lot better of stinting myself by doing this a lot earlier, particularly with Coma, Big Flight, and Ghosting. I started them off earlier, knowing that I needed to keep these months relatively free for the main albums. Good heavens, what a run it's been regarding that. Pinned is the weakest song on this album. I just could not get the flow, and the lyrics were just not right. What doesn't work about Pinned, funny enough, I knew as soon as I recorded it, it was more of an R&B song, and I do not do R&B. It wasn't written for me, it was written for like an R&B singer. Someone who's got that really good voice and can just sing over a disco beat. Yeah, not me at all. No, senor, that is not me. Not in this lifetime, not with these shoes upon me. So yeah, that's why I think the song is probably the weakest on the album, but it's still fun to listen to, because like the ending's pretty punk when I scream. Like this bit, I think it's the only saving grace it has. I just wanna give up. Pinned. Featuring the only title with an asterisk as at this point in time. Yeah. Wow, 10 o'clock now. Alright. I really have to get back in and get ready for bed. Yeah, that's the exciting life I live. Trapped in a car, listening to my own music, going insane slowly. I'm so glad you can all picture that so effortlessly, vividly. This year has been huge. Month's been huge, but I'm still going to have to sit in it with the car, and it'd be really fun to document it with these audio logs to see how I'm feeling and how it's going, because, yeah, it's crazy. Absolutely crazy doing these things. Fuckball is crazy. 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 Crazy. What's me? Is there anything else I want to say? Should have been paying attention to the album actually whilst I've been talking. It would have been another free run through, but then again, I better get going. After this one cometh Big Flight. Looking forward to that one. I'm getting to the point where I've heard this one a bit too many times now, so yeah, can't wait for that. Yeah. And as I've always said all along, sitting here in this empty car by myself, alone, I need some loving. I need some loving. Fog out. So this is a little rundown that Coma Mo is done as of tonight. I sit here 10 to 10 and it's done. 13th of November. This was the first album I started properly mixing and mastering in the car. And it's done now. Day after I've been so busy, these albums, I finally got another one done. I think the best feeling ever is knowing that these are done, ready to get going. All that time and effort's really paid off, and the actual time of it was mixing and mastering it, not actually recording it. Man, that sucks, but there we are. It's been a eventful November with these, and this is going to be the rest of the month for me sitting in this car. I'm close to Ghosting and Big Flight. They're the next ones who are so close to being done. And we're on to the real good stuff. Cat Funeral is like the magnum opus of 2025. The magnum opus. Yeah, absolutely wild. At least the rain's not coming down half as bad tonight. Still exhausted. Always exhausted these days. Been out for a walk and come in to do this in the dark, and yeah, always exhaustive. I don't know how I'm to go on, but there we are. I'll still do it all the same, regardless. Yeah, the sunk cost bias, as they call it. That you put enough time, resources, and energy into something, you just have to go for it, even if there's no gains or little gains. That's what it's come to for Folks Vlog. Music videos look sick though. I've done the skate video, man. Oh, the skate video for the parody of indie rockers and indie skaters. Even though it was like a parody of like the poses, I am still a poser to both. Ironically, one could argue. So don't really know what I was doing that now, but I'm not too worried because that's just the fun of it. That's how it all goes in the end. That's how it all goes, whether you like it or not. This car is really getting cold now. Boiling inside, freezing out here. Wow. To think in November and then in December I'm turning 27. That's my professional opinion, if anybody asks. Goddamn. No hesitation on that one. It's just going too fast. And so much undone. However, been a great upheaval. I was also listening to Madman on every corner in the car as well. I actually burnt it off on my little CD case collection to drive around to. And the mastering and mixing has paid off so well. It sounded like my best album I've done yet, for just smoothly running from song to song without having to adjust the volume or get put off by the inconsistencies. None of that at all. Yes, I've just got over halfway through, but at this point I'm pretty confident that the final leg of it will be just as groovy. New wave counterculture music, boy. New wave counterculture music, girl. Coming both your way. Spearheaded by, me, just one guy in a car talking to you about music, his own music. Absolutely wild. I don't know how it's paid off, but it has paid off. Almost sounds like an actual album to some extent, though that album is really the ultimate demonstration of just music is play, work is play, creativity is play. Rather than taking it seriously and absolutely fanatically, this is more of a loose, unstructured, informal, casual happenstance of an album. Of just talents of mine and Jake's just sort of infusing together in a relaxed setting, just having fun and letting it go. See what comes out. I'm making it as weird as possible with his sampler. So his thing is to like steal my vocals, take a line off my vocals I've just recorded, put into his sampler and down pitch it, up shift it, you name it. Add all sorts of kooky effects over it to make it funny, demented. all of the lot. And he just sits there and like turns it into an actual melody or rhythm. I just told him, you got to get that at the start, or let's have that going through the song. It sounds so funny when you play it together. Lo and behold, when we synced it up, played the song and he jammed over it. Yeah, it did work. Mainly for Slapstick Gypsy Revolver, and also appears at the start, well, yes, of that song, but also Only Rains in December. The two main ones off the top of my head, which are just sublime for him adding that on. Not to mention, there's a clown horn. His clown horn, really funny, showed me a demonstration of it, that he had it in school to annoy his teachers, which was such a thing I could believe he did when he moved school. But more to the point, he uses it to scare the neighbour's cat, which is a bit like a bully cat which goes through the backyard, opens up the window from where his pad is, where we make the tunes, and stands up and beeps the horn in it as loudly as possible. And damn, that thing does go loud. Do need to amplify that bad boy. Echoes of clown lunacy fills up his street. And then, yes, the Salvation Army tambourine came along and did its thing. Been meaning to record with that for a long time. The first folk album to feature a tambourine overdub. Obviously, Coma had a cowbell overdubbed, first time ever. And Contronyms had shakers overdubbed. Wow. Ain't that something funny? Yeah, life is good when you manage to see your projects through, even if there's little to no reward. I don't really mind. I should mind. I'm trying to learn. It's alright if things don't kick off with an algorithm dictating what's hot or not. Doesn't matter. So long as you've done it and you're happy with it. Who gives a slice of cheese to the cheesemaker, eh, man? You got enough cheese. I don't want anything off him. He's cool, but I'd rather he makes not a sound, not while I'm around. He's someone else. I'm me. Wow, almost 10 o'clock, which is cut-off time for me to go to bed. Coma's done. Better start uploading that and get that bad boy sent off. And on to the next one. This is the life of a mad creator, inventor. And that's all I have to declare. Oh. Yeah, the sensation of finally finishing your art. When you get that album mastered, you know this is it. No more adjusting the songs. This is the take. They all match up perfectly and harmoniously. That's it, that feeling is just too good. Only I think creatives understand. You know, most musicians never ever even make an album a year. You'll be lucky for most musicians, most bands, most artists to get one album a year. And that'll be that. That'll be like the highlight. If you're a really good band, you'd probably get 2 albums out a year, maybe a third one. If you really want to push it, a third one. But man, I already got like 7 out and I've got another 7 to go. Well, maybe not that much. Am I that crazy? It could be. I mean, I've been yapping for this long enough. That's a telltale sign I am crazy. Woohoo! 19th of November, I'm so goddamn tired. Been doing every day this week, sitting in the car, reviewing Ghosting for Beginners, which I've been already doing for a long time as it stands, getting the final mixes done. And there's still like little innocent details which are just boggling my brain to the beyonds. I still don't feel like I'm finished this thing at all. I really, really am worried for this album. I need a fresh pair of ears to listen to it because I've just got to the point of insanity where every track just doesn't sound like it matches up, even though quite clearly it does. I thought it'd be a smart idea to mix it in the car for the majority, like 95% of the time. And then today I thought, why not give an extra 5% to confirm it on the headphones, just in case. And that's just really thrown me off now because the headphones are suggesting half the album needs to be boosted when clearly they don't. But at the same time, they might need to. One of them's lying. I don't know which one. And me, I would never lie. I don't lie and I don't swear. I don't smoke, that's just what I do. So I've been programmed modus operandi for the entirety of my time. Oh, this album is so annoying, and I'm sitting here freezing in the car now. It's November, turning into December soon. The year's almost up, and I've still got so much to mix. And this album is just slowing me down. It's cold. I'm sitting in a cold car. It's watching my breath float around whilst I read and listen to this album. I'm just not sure what the next step is. There's no next step. It all just sounds different every time I sit down in here and give it a listen. And now I can't trust my own ears. I have this thing, because I listen to speaker a lot, I like to listen to it quietly, so I'm really attuned to listening to things quietly. And that's made it impossible to do this task of sitting through an album and hearing if it's balanced. Because I've trained my ears to adjust to low levels of sound. Because when I go to sleep, I like to put my speaker next to me and listen to my albums. That's what like the 2010s of Fugflug was all about, was just me designing my own stuff to sleep to. For the fun of it. And now here I am, going crazy and shouting into my phone, pretending that I'm giving a really, really cool inspirational life update, but I'm just turning insane. I'm just documenting another step into the abyss. And yeah, you could laugh about it, but you're not the one in this car right now in the darkness, in the cold, just sitting here for the past hour listening to the same songs on repeat, just deciphering what needs to be done next. And I'm fidgeting with the keys. I've got a book to read, but at the same time I'm just losing grip on it all. The good news is Big Flight's already been done. Like, I'm quite happy that should be all set. Besides the last song I need to just remake again. I think we should be fine. Well, not remake, that's very harsh, very vague. I just need to give it another polish up. Yeah, excuse my exaggeration. My hands are freezing cold. I don't like holding this phone, so I might just chuck you on the floor. And the only light in here is coming from my phone torchlight, which I stick on the headrest of the seat, slide it in between there, so the light shines down upon the book I can read. And you can tell I'm really losing it just because my speech is rubbish right now. Saying all sorts of things, watching flashing asteroids and dark stars above out this window before the mist just sets upon it. We're due heavy snow tomorrow, and I don't like that at all, because I still have to go to work regardless of it, and it was a little bit risky last time. God, I'm talking about work on here. I must really be that sad tonight. Tell you what's been interesting though, to put all this into context. Currently reading IKIGAI. Hector Garcia and Francesc Morales. Yeah, excuse my pronunciation, but they just talk about the fanaticism of obviously Eastern philosophy of the artisans and your Zen, in which people take their craft as sincerely as possible, just every day doing what they have to do, chipping away at whatever they're doing to the finest detail, to the sense that only a certain few members know the actual ways to do these things. For example, what was it? One of the makeup companies over there in Japan, there's only one person who actually finalizes the brush heads and actually makes the brush heads, because she's just worked it to her craft in an art form so precise. She's just left alone in her room to do that, whilst all the other mechanisms make everything of the product. She's the one who actually sifts through the brushes, puts them aside. She's just that focused on it. And obviously you've got the head director at Studio Ghibli, or Ghibli, whichever one your diplomacy is. He draws every day, and even when he retired, he turned into work the next day to carry on drawing, even though he wasn't making any films, just because he wanted to draw until the very end, which he did, quite literally, apparently, according to the book. So the main argument here is the Ikigai is just something to get obsessed over and particular over and specific over, just to the point where it's something you do every day to get a sense of workflow, which is when you're in your highest creative and productive sense with no distractions, just pure focus. And it's a state where everything just comes out natural, time means nothing, people are nothing to you, and you just get your head down and just get on with things and just enjoy it. Because it's what you were born to do and what you love to do. And why does that click so hard with music and me? Why does that click so hard with Fog Plug? I've spent almost every day coming to this car to remaster these albums, listening to it intently and diligently, going through these songs. And you can clearly tell that I have, because I wouldn't be so obsessed and almost frustrated and just bemused and going insane at this point by just putting in these hours of sitting in this car listening to everything. It's there. It's all there, what I'm doing. And why would I spend my weekends just going out, driving out to record and do music on top of that? It's there. It's the everyday things. I do the everyday things. Clearly there is some sort of how can I perceive it? Some sort of connection. Ironically, when I'm not a musical person, and yet it is everything. But most importantly, it's the only thing I have. Yeah. I think there's some reassurance in reading this book whilst I'm going through this period of time in 2025 in November, doing all these albums, remastering them. It's another take. I can sense on my lips that they're drying up from talking too much already in this creaky cold car. However, I think it's really interesting to draw insight upon. Yeah, clearly I'm onto something here. Clearly I'm onto something. And I didn't think I'd actually advance this far as I am. Even though there's still a lot more to do. And I feel like I've only just started it. And I'm already really late. I'm 26. I'm already really late going into music, you know. I've been doing it since I was 15. And it's only now at 26 that I'm actually feel like I'm actually taking it on my own terms to actually get on with it. You know, when you work with other musicians, things kind of drag and you have to go at the pace at the slowest. But when you decide to go be yourself and come at it as just yourself and limit the production team to as few people as you can. You know, I got Pisha on the beats, I got Mr. McFrank on the artwork, and that's it. When you keep it so clear and structured and goal set and disciplined, while retaining the ikigai of enjoyment and flow state and creativity, this is where things have really started to like almost light up for me, you know? Of course no one knows. This is music. It's subjective and it's probably the worst thing you do with your life, and that's what makes it so beautiful. That's why I'm here for it. There's nothing in music. No one cares for it, no one likes it, no one wants it. Oh, you want to listen to the new stuff when you have the greats. You're literally competing with the greatest composers, not of just the 21st century, but the 20th century. And even before that. You're literally competing against the greatest musicians who ever lived. That's so funny. That's so funny. And everyone loves an underdog, eh? Or so one would hope. Wow. Yep. I only feel like now I'm really not quite going for it, but I'm really getting somewhere with it. I've done a lot which I never thought I could do. Really got out of the comfort zone with this. Done a lot I never thought I could do, and it really has stuck to it. I've really just gone with things. Anyway, I don't want this to be like, I'm so great because You can tell that I'm really struggling right now, and I am so tired. But IKIGAI, there's something in it to read, you know? Really reassures me that I'm doing this every day, that I am onto something, and that I'm putting in so much detail. I am onto something. Onto summit. I feel like I'm just wasting time talking into this phone, going over these, but I just have to do these logs. Even though I'm also journaling in a book, yeah, I've been writing down what's been going on ever since summertime and for Fugflug, but I don't know what I'm ever going to do with that. I don't have an audience or anything at all, just a couple of mates who are interested, just to hear what I've been up to. So why do I still go for it? I would one day like to answer that question, but I don't think I have the potential to answer that question today. And you know I'm still going to go for it. My time is just so limited. My influence is so limited. Time really is the one thing which just really brings me down. You come home tired and you're like, time to do the things I actually want to do and need to do. After doing chores, after doing the things you do to survive, and then, yeah, you've got this here. Now you can finally welcome the goddamn music, but you do that and it's like, it's 9 o'clock now, man. It's actually 9 o'clock already. Oh well, I've just turned this on just to stop me going off at a tangent about how time is so limited and brutalistic. I'm brutish, but anyway. The whole thing is barbaric, but it's the arts. Would you even call this the arts? My music, the arts? Yeah. No, this is the song which features Peach on the whole album. Help Me, I Think I'm Bleeding. Wrote that one years and years ago, and then brought it back to get some creepy horror movie soundtrack I said to him to make, which I think did a pretty good job of. Very avant-garde, which he found very entertaining, but confusing at the same time. Yeah, I subjected him to a lot of weird genres, you know. Taught him desert rock, shoegaze, gospel blues. Now this like horror soundtrack, avant-garde stuff, you know. The fun never ends. Helping others. I'm so fortunate to have him by my side. What a loaded gun. This is a song where the car drives on the road and crashes. Ooh la la! I'm hoping this wasn't actually recording almost, just so I'm just really... This is why I'm so against making content, because people are like, he must have so much interesting things to say and do, and I have. And the behind the scenes are so funny. If you could see me right now in this car. Yeah, if only you could see me now, punk. But it's literally just me going insane. I don't know if people really want to vibe with that, or see or hear about that. Yeah, sure, it's funny, but then you start to realise that when he's made 7 albums this year, maybe more, documenting his insanity, kind of feel like maybe you should be a bit worried. Oh, these windows are fogging up, frosting up. I really have to get a move on now with this album. And just get out of here. Get out of this car whilst I'm still alive. Now, ghosting has been problematic. We know that. I've been reading Ikigai, and I think I might have found part of my Ikigai music, but how can I make that work and stick when everything's against it? Poor music. Poor arts industry. Don't know why I'm laughing. I used to be funny, but I'm finding myself less and less funny these days. I say stuff which which I don't think would make me center of the party, which I once was. Sure, I can say smart things. For example, I met up with my art. The guy who does the art. Oh my god, I don't know if I forgot his name. Mr. McFrank. We were talking about the Jungian psychoanalysis of dreams. About character arcs and character types, which he was aware of and was saying, so that's where it's come from. I said, yeah, you need to delve into this psychologist. I've read Modern Man in Search of a Soul, and for all it was quite difficult to tackle and very, very, very big undertaking, just with the complexity of it all and the whole academic outlook, which obviously you'd expect from him, there were some bits about what really interested me, which was the shadow, which was really, really, I got the book for, really, to read. Wow, my brain is jumbled. Ooh. Maybe the shadow and Ikigai, well, not maybe, definitely the shadow and Ikigai connected. Yeah, as this bit comes on, as this demented bit comes on, this is when I get my whole revelations on, people. Yeah, maybe that's the whole, maybe that's the whole, thing of life. To find your shadow, and that's your Ikigai. Get your shadow, get the Ikigai. Easy as. And why do I think music might be part of it? Well, it all checks out, judging by the examples of the what I've just read and told you like ages ago now. People! Oh wow, this Welsh weather is cold. On the bones! Oh, I'm so tired. Repetition. Will you listen? Anyway, what I will say is that he said my shadow has huge potential. So the shadow, which I haven't defined yet, which I need to actually allow this to make sense for whoever's listening, the shadow is your repressed childhood desires and ambitions, which you thought, now that you're older, are a bit puerile, immature, childish, to put it plainly. But at the same time, it's the one thing which really gave you energy, life and spirit and satisfaction above all else. So from a mindfulness perspective, that's what you really need to gear towards, your shadow. So you need to approach your shadow. Now, most would argue your shadow would sound like this villainous evil, all of your bad things, but it's actually all the good things you've put aside, which you need to reintroduce to your life, to acknowledge, accept, nurture, and do. And we're both creative spirits. I was keen on my art when he moved to school. I was telling him that's probably my shadow, is art, creativity, and I guess music. Sure, if I had more time, I could be talking about the others, but for now I'm just limited to music at the moment. I have been drawing today, but I just need to focus on the music, because this is the thing, I can just go off on all these things in so much glory and detail. But where would we be at the end of the day without such a bub? So people, what you need to do is find your shadow in order to understand your Ikigai. And that is your meaning of life, your purpose, I guess, in one sense. If you believe in that kind of religion. Me, I don't know, man. I'm too cool for it. Yeah. Anything to say? No, let's just finish it. You're gonna love us here. You're gonna like it here. Help me. I think I'm bleeding. Help me. This is December the 2nd. Ghosting for Beginners was released on the 30th of November. It was the night before I did one of these updates, but clearly the microphone wasn't working on my phone, and now it's come out with no audio, and I'm very upset because I put down quite a lot of in-depth feelings about how I was going, but that bittersweet moment, knowing that I was close to the end of the ongoing tumultuous sessions in the car, trying to get that album into shape, just how difficult it's been and how annoyed I was. But yet I was on the home stretch knowing I was about to release it. Yeah, you never know what that was like, because that didn't get recorded. I'm sitting here now, 2 days after its release. And to be fair, I've just played it in the car the other day, in the Fiat, and it sounded like my most mixed and equally balanced album yet, which is quite insane. I've come to terms that there will always be limitations with my mastering and mixing, because I don't have the skills for it. I don't want to waste money hiring someone who can do a decent job or a good job of it, because there's like no return rate for the music from what I can foresee at this point in time. Just be a waste of like upwards from 1,000 to whatever quid a song to mix a master, or whatever it goes for. Do the math. There's no point doing it until you actually scale where it isn't a liability. Anyway, moving on from why I hate not everything. I shouldn't say that. That's pretty mean, because I've just released this album. It should be good. I've got the single for the Dust City Night Drive song to release next, and I'm moving instantly onto Big Flight pretty much soon, which I've already done the majority of the mixing and mastering, and did that earlier, and made sure it was up to a very good standard before I gave up and moved on to another album to mix and master instead. So I'm in already good stead for that. I'm not sitting in the car this time. I'm actually upstairs in my room, just reviewing these clips, finding out that most of them have been recording incorrectly, or of, I don't know, just turned into an error or whatever. At least this time you can actually hear me, and I know everything's going on. I'm very tired. But hey, a couple of my mates are putting out some music, or people that I've been in bands with are putting out music and stuff. The majority of it is pretty decent, to be fair. My only thing I would say is, if only they put in the hours I've put in of releasing so many songs and albums this year, and recording so much recording so much music. Like, this would all be such a natural process for them. And like, they probably would have like skyrocketed their satisfactory levels of being like done and whatnot. I was just in a discussion the other day, just saying, I'd rather, or you'd be more interested in the person who's put out, like, recorded hundreds and hundreds of songs in a year, to see their progress from like being someone who doesn't do anything of singing and putting out songs, to someone who's put comfortably that many songs where now they kind of know what they're going in for. They're comfortable doing what they're doing. They've put in the hours and the mileage. They know the effects to make them sound whatever they want. They've got all their goals done regarding that. I just think the output is so much better compared to the guy who just does one song and maybe another one to end the year off, like releases 2 singles in a year, if any at all. I just think it'd be so much better to be the person who puts in more and more and more, because you just accelerate your growth at such a speed and such a pace, where now it's like, I started off the year not thinking I could rap at all, let alone sing, and now suddenly I'm a bit more comfortable getting into the grooves, getting into the vibes, giving it a shot. Like, these things come naturally to me now, it almost seems. I don't know, it's really weird being able to say this after like recording, what was it? How many albums have I done? Get High and Die, Cat Funeral, Big Flight, Tax the Chimps. Yeah, those are all to come out, actually, hopefully soon. And Coma, Mo's new Coma Over. And Ghosting for Beginners. As well as In Search of American Soul, which is one I can't talk about much at the moment. I started that off last year and a little bit this year, but I've put it on pause, waiting to actually spend more time to go over that. That's a different story for another day for the rap on there. Yeah, you know, loads of albums and loads of outtakes with them all. And I've just seen my progress is so much better for just sitting down and putting on the headphones and getting on with it, rather than thinking like, oh, I'm still not that confident, or I still don't know what I'm doing, or I still can't get into the zone. That doesn't really matter now at my stage, because I've done so much of it. It's like, yeah, why not? I could do it again. I just think compared to the guy who just puts out 1 or 2 songs, he's got nowhere near the same mileage, experience, or productivity of just getting that creative outlet nailed to make it uniquely their own. It's more of, yeah, I've dropped one and another one, and that's all you're getting. That's all I'm learning. Like, that's 1 or 2 compared to, as I said, how many albums worth of songs? The contrast is there. So I'm just saying, if there's anyone here who likes music, please just go all out with making as much as you can, because at first it sucks, but it gets gradually better each time. And when you put in the miles, like anything, it's just a second nature, second language, something easy to do. Or so it should be. That's kind of been my thoughts, really. Which is pretty good. I never really thought of myself doing this. Now it's just trying to get people to listen to it next year, which is going to be the impossible feat. It's going to be impossible. Anyway, I've got more things to get on with now. More music to get on with, so I'm just wasting time talking into this, I feel like. So I better get going. Yep, I think that's everything. I'll probably be back in the car soon enough going over these. Just got the microphone working on my phone now, so you can actually hear my updates and whatever I'm saying. Everything is good. I just don't really like existence at the moment. I don't have enough time to do this, and I know I'll never actually have the time to do this because there's like little to no monetary value from it. And what I've learned as you get older, the things which don't give you money back in return aren't feasible. Because now that you're an adult, now that I'm the age that I am, somehow life has swapped from being, it's all about learning and experiencing new people to socialize with, to just getting that in, just getting money, which kind of sucks. Because like, yeah, there's nothing to do with music. And even with the band, I mean, you just know it ain't going to go anywhere. It doesn't stop it. It doesn't stop us. We're still going, and that's why I've dubbed the music I do as Cockroach music, because at the end of the day, when all the other bands quit, I'll still be here making these silly beats, probably doing a live show, or I don't know, whatever single the band's going to throw out next, that'll be us. Still going at the end of the time, but Viva Cockroach music. Music that is like a cockroach, indestructible, test of time. After the nuclear apocalypse and global warming, cockroaches will still be alive on this planet. After everything goes dead and silent, there'll still be that my music like that, in that respect. Hallelujah. But still, I am concerned for the future, and time is even running out, and I know that. I've already done the magnum opus, but who cares if no one really listens to it? You never know with these things, though. You could get the odd viral internet hit, like Chad's new hair, just randomly springing up. I foresee something like that could happen with that, but can't rely on the algorithm at the end of the day. Am I in that sense wasting my time and my life with music in general then? Absolutely. But it's really weird because that's all I really want to kind of be doing right now. Mainly that, but other creative endeavours. Yeah, of course you don't get paid for either one, and as an adult, suddenly that's it. If there's there's no feedback loop like that. It's just not feasible and you don't do it. And yeah, I work full time doing this thing, but one or two has to budge because I'm really, really feeling it. Spending evenings isolated, just working on music or driving out to shows and performing 100%. Spending the mornings and afternoons just grinding a job, so like push comes to shove, one of them has to go, and I can certainly see that music will have to be the one to go because they don't get anything money-wise from it, unlike a job. But then the job is a job, and where's the fun in that? You know, if you're not jamming out. Pretty damn obvious. And I'm not stopping with the music, even if it comes to it. I'll still keep going for the hoot of it. But it got me thinking lately. You know, I'm 26, going on 27. You'd have thought something would have happened by now, and if not, maybe there is no first date at Ladbrokes. Maybe there's none of that. Maybe this is it. Now I'm still young, and Leonard Cohen released his debut album at age 30. Sure, it's masterclass and an achievement in itself. One heck of a darn tootin' achievement, a poetic masterpiece, but I think I'm just getting concerned with age more than anything else. The songs still sound good, but you know, if I didn't have a hope, why would I still be doing this? You know, I'm still doing it. I'm still sitting here. I mean, I've just put out Ghosting for Beginners the other day. I've already got the singles lined up for Use Your Delusion 2 now to release. I'm already talking about moving on to Big Flight and just planning out where did I leave that one and how do I pick back up from where I left off with that album. So it's already like no rest from it. I'm still going into it. And I was reading with the IKIGAI. Come on. The book's not here. Anyway, I've already referenced it before about the flow state from a previous vlog of these. And yeah, this is the flow state for me. And it's anything creative. Writing, music, drawing. Yeah. I see some sort of like pinpoint to put this all under. Now, Fug is a good persona, but music-wise, however, with the writing and the drawings, yeah, I guess they could fit under him as well, but you know, there's a lot to think about with this branding thing, and then you gotta make content. Why would I want to make content? All I want to do is just make funny songs. You know? But that's it. If you're a music artist, you have to be an influencer. As well as a business person, and everybody complains, but I just want to do the one thing, be an artist. But it's the same for everybody else online. Whether you're a graphics designer, or you're a coder, or you're a guy who taste tests horrible drinks. Yeah, this is my mind when it's like overloaded from work and time. It's not even coherent at this point. Goddamn subconsciousness. You're meant to save, not destroy it. Anyway, even if you're doing something else, you still have to learn to make content, because that's what you have to do with a hobby now, is make content for it. Because you don't have the exposure of going online where you could be seen by a potential upwards to infinite amount of people and users to watch. But at a gig, if anyone comes out, you're stuck at that level of people who turn up. Those are the only eyes you're going to get. But online, you can get as many eyes as you can, as long as it's worthy. Oh, now that sounds like something else. Another challenge for another day, another aim for another day. Yes, I do fear making content because I've not a clue what I'm doing, and my music is not exactly the most obvious of things, to put it politely. It's pretty chaotic, but I think there's always a charm for that. I'm not going to talk about this any longer. It's kind of drawing on, and it just feels like it's more and more like me getting depressed, which isn't the case right now because like I've just released an album, you know, and I've got more to do, which would be really fun. So come on, man, come on. But you know, I really wanted to just maybe voice some concerns because my music isn't doing enough of that already. It would seem, I guess. Yuck. Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I've already said the 2nd of December, so I don't need to do that for the outro. Ciao. December 10th. December 10th. I can't remember what I was saying last time I spoke on here. Did I mention that most of these recordings got corrupted? That the audio wasn't working? So like, a lot of the past time has been suddenly removed. Yeah, that was something. But hey, I've probably mentioned Ghosting for Beginners got released. Probably end of November. Did I mention that? That happened as well. As it stands, that's probably my best mixed album. I'm chuffed with it, and I think that's like what's been picked up by the listeners is the effort's paid off. The time I put in really paid off, and I had to put in a lot more time from it in September and November and October. Actually, those 3 months were pretty much solid for that album, along with the others in their respectful release time. You might have also noticed I'm walking outside. I have just finished being in the car and just needed to walk to wind down before going to bed early. Like I always do because I have a boring life. Get up, go out, come back, record the music, sit down and master it in a car in the dark, and then go home and go to bed. What am I saying? I need to just tone it down and pop out. Now I'm down this farm track. Let me describe it to you. Middle of freaking nowhere. Farm track. Cat's eyes glaring at me with torches. Hey kitty cat. Hey cat. Yeah, you're gonna run off from me. Literally, cat's eyes glowing at me, stalking me. I was 2 feet away from this wild, stray farm cat who just darted off down another track. Potholes have become swimming pools. Darkness has become nothingness. And hedge roses are just as tall as the sky because you can't really make out where they stand in the lack of light there is, other than my phone torch, which I don't actually like using when I walk out late at night. I prefer just the natural light of the stars. However, because I got the screen recorder on to do these voice memos, I'm walking with the light so my eyes don't burn from the screen by itself. Yes, I like to just walk around these lanes late at night with no light other than just the moon and stars to guide me, because I freaking love living in the countryside. In that respect, you can hear the wind howling happily at me as I embrace another corner around this country lane. A couple lights shine all around me from the other valleys like beacons, old tribes spreading messages through light. But they're just farmhouses, random houses, cottages, which I can't make out. Lanes are dark and I feel like going onto the main road, which is just another single road, plunging you into, well, nowhere again. And I love that. The emptiness, that freedom. You know what, I will give it a go. I think I will turn left now and go down here. This is why I despise urban life. You don't have this. The multitude of freedom. Let's block this drain full of leaves from last night's storm. Urban life, you don't get any of this. It's just clubbing and drinking and just street lights where the government try and control you when you can sleep and be awake. In theory, it's just like putting a blanket over a parrot's cage to make it sleep in the middle of the day or at night or whenever. It won't know the difference. That's all street lights are when they turn on to me. That's all they mean to me. I don't see the appeal in any of that. I've got bigger things to be going on, music-wise. Even though I'll know as my chest starts to pain me with a pin, a constricting grip, that as an artist, this is a path I really should not be doing. I'm the last person to rap, hold a pen, do anything of value, and yet that's all I've ever known. Music is all I have left. I just can't stop being creative. I'm gonna do it whatever I do, going crazy in the country by myself, so I'll get something from it. All these drains just blocked up, plunged up, and picked up with a litter. Oh, that's not one. Good. Yeah, that's not one either. I think we're free flowing now, freewheeling. Just how I like it. No one's around. No one is ever around, other than myself. While I'm here, I live like a king. Left to my own satisfaction. And experimentation when it comes to creativity. That's all this is going to be now. That's all the fight is between me and that. Little punches, blow by blow. That's how you train up as a fighter. Hey, someone's already unblocked that drain. Nice. This brings me on to the next agenda, which happens to stand as Big Flight. Gabe's already done the cover. It's kind of like, I want to say remastering the cover, though that's not really a thing. He's just exporting it as a higher quality, which I'm waiting on now. He also wants to redesign the Usual Delusion covers, which would be absolutely phenomenal and very well needed. The idea is to put clowns on tins, spaghetti tins by my request, on those little cheap Italian tablecloth meal tops. Again, by my request. No way is that a drain. Oh, poor thing it is as well. Don't remember the drain being in this middle of the road. Wow. Yeah, that's quite some flooding we've had. Yeah, it's nice to hear my voice. Oh, that's not a drain. The ones down here are particularly bad. There you are. Kicking leaves. Like there's a World Cup in it for me. But like most things, which you think are fruitless in life, there's nothing in it for me. But you do them anyway. Because that's just how it goes. It's 10 o'clock, I need to turn back. I should be in bed by now, but I think I'm nearing the end of this walk. I'm pushing it, living life dangerously now. I've been remastering Big Flight now. Mixing and mastering that, not remastering it, mixing and mastering Big Flight. as Gabe works on the cover. It's going well, considering what's happened. I've got one jam from the Tascam recorded. Guitar and drums. Oh my gosh, I'm getting nowhere on this walk with these strains tonight. This one's the worst one yet. Anyway, the Tascam has a low sonic frequency, so the songs on there are done at a particularly lower frequency, just because I use that for bootlegging live shows. I say bootlegging, but it's just recording my own live shows. This is a band. I have to get a stick for this strain. It's so bad. Hear this. Hear the drop. That was the best one yet. You should really be in bed by now. Don't let the two-headed sleep monster find me here. Sounds like a car's coming. Yes, I'm squatting in the middle of the road, clearing a drain. One of my favourite pastimes when I'm not making music. The before and after of a drain is so satisfying to me. And I like just knowing that I'm helping out. Keeping things in a flow state. Yeah. But I digress from what everyone is here to listen to. And that's my update on Big Flight at this point in time now. Now that Ghosting for Beginners is done, I've immediately moved on to this one. But what I found out, due to the different sonic frequencies, I had all the other songs at a higher frequency, and then I was like, oh yeah, I better turn this one up. I've already turned the jam up from the Tascam, which means it gets to the sound which I say is warping, when you boost something up so much, and it just starts to sound like it's just like warping and tugging and falling along. It's like echoey, reverby, and the quality just deteriorates horrifically. That's just doing really bad. Here we are, me podcasting while someone blocking a drain. Late at night in the darkness on the middle of a road to nowhere. Oh, this is the toughest drain yet, for sure. This is why I'm going to be late back tonight. I already am late. Wow. Look at this. Stones, that's what the problem is. Stones are lodged in here. And they won't shift down. Eternally trapped. Poor thing, never had a chance, this drain. Yeah, so I've just realised I can't turn everything up to make it loud in order to match the frequency of the jams. I've got to turn them lower now. So, all that hard work I've been doing, because I've been mixing and mastering Big Flight since the start of this year, so I could prepare myself for this very moment to be ahead of the game, knowing that I'd be doing other albums such as Ghosting and then Taxi Chimps, which is to be the next release. However, oh dear gosh, it's not quite gone to plan in that respect. I think that drain's as good as finished. You know, it's not gone to plan in that respect because I had to reshuffle the sound and just turn everybody low. No more amplification. It's time to go low on the profile. I turn around now on my walk. Yeah. I'm gonna have to. It's already come out to 10 past. I am really bad now. This is me thinking, right, it's too late to carry on. I stand face against the wind, knowing I'm late for my bed. If it wasn't for work, this wouldn't be pressing upon me. But I've freed up some drains tonight, so I made life better for something out there, for someone out there. Yes. I feel more at peace with the trees than with people. That's just common sense. Everyone likes to say it, but they never really feel it. But that's why I'm here. Still here. Yeah, Big Flight. Everything's been dropped down multiple levels. comparing it now to the Jam track. Originally it was Repetitive Fondness. I like to choose the best sounding song, my favourite song, and compare everything to that, which was Repetitive Fondness, the opener. I really am enthralled and love that song so much. That's a good story for another time. I might get round to it. Gosh, already 40 minutes. Time is fleeting, ebbing, and killing itself in a violent hedonistic fashion, uncontrollable and unrelapsed, just completely spontaneous and unnecessary. Now, I've given it a listen tonight in the car, which is what I've just finished and I'm walking out from now. Yes, the mixing has gone successfully with everyone lower, I think, on the whole. Maybe some tracks are still a little bit too loud, but on the whole everyone's fine. I am going to give it another listen tomorrow just to confirm that. That should be fine. And Repetitive Fondness I'm just going to do a little minor tweak to, because one of the risers, which is these like little hype noise which rise over time, just to give things a bit of oomph and interest and anticipation and atmosphere, it's just a little bit off upon listening to headphones. So I have to just re-edit that song quickly before exporting it finally. And I've only noticed that due to wearing headphones, and I've only wore headphones due to the fact it's made the mixing and mastering process a little simpler. Gabe's recommendation, he made all the Clola albums with headphones to mix and master the tracks, and I've never faulted his pristine production. Any witness, that's all due to mixing and mastering with headphones. I've took that on board, taken it to heart, and it has actually sped up my process a lot easier and given me a lot more reassurance of double checking these WAVs and MP3s that they're doing the best they can, living the best lives, which is what I encourage. So strange walking up a hill and seeing these leaves roll down to you as if some spirit's tossing them at you, trying to make you jump, trying to make you question what's going on, but it's just the wind blowing down. It's debris, it's children out into the wilderness once again. No doubt the wind's accompanying my voice. It's recording. It's suddenly accompanying me now. So I've been using headphones. I started that off religiously for Ghosting for Beginners, that sonic spiritual seance of an album, and it's paid off very well. For the last run of it, I was really struggling to get my mind to grips with just how perplexing and how crazy I was feeling, listening to these songs time and time again, not knowing what to do. By this point I've done it so much, with so many hours in that car. The headphones really lifted me up from that dark moment. Very happy. I kept it for Big Flight straight away, and it's really got me, instantly on track this week. I've been going through the last couple of days with other headphones, but it's really just made a hell of a difference today using the headphones, because I thought, alright, I might as well give it a go for Big Flight, and lo and behold, woo! Yes sir, it does work! Works wonders. Works wonders. Really looking forward to Big Flight. It's more interesting, I would argue, than the last albums I've released and talked about. It's sort of getting a more pop commercial sound. It's not maintained throughout the entirety of it though, it's still got the fun-plug quirks and comedy. However, Repetitive Fondness and Jet Waves are just something else. And I knew when I made them earlier on in my days, a couple of years ago, maybe this thing might just work out after all. I laugh. Maybe things might just work out after all. I heard Steve Jobs saying to live every day like it's your last life, and he did that for 3 years and realised he wasn't living his best life. Therefore he knew change had to happen, and change did happen. One of the changes was reading a book which I'm going to be hopefully putting my mind towards. Robert Fritz the path of least resistance, and that's really just got him to understand his calling for, well, basically Apple in some respects. That's one of the key highlights of what he was reading at the time, to make him want to do something with his life. You know, it's funny knowing what you want to do with your life. I know it's creativity for me. Absolutely. And it doesn't pay. It does pay, but you're not supposed to know how it pays, is more the point I'm trying to raise, actually. Sorry. But if you gave up, you'd never find out. If you never looked for it, you'd never see it. If you never read it, you never would have thought about it. And if you never heard it, you wouldn't even know to listen out for it. A cuckoo's call. I'm looking forward to finishing off Big Flight very soon, by the end of this week. I don't have long, only a couple of days really before the weekend. But we'll get done. I'm already racing ahead now, after tonight, with the headphones. I wish to produce something or create something to put out there, how I mix and master now at a speed which suits my creative lifestyle of life in the fast lane. If you know how much I've been releasing these last couple of months, as well as just making months prior. I wish to put all this knowledge together, but I'm going to find that out. But I know so many different techniques now which work for me, and it's a combination of a lot of things. Listening it by ear, in a car, off speakers, off phones, off as many different sound sources as possible, through headphones. In long sessions, short sessions, comparing songs to other songs, or listening to it all in general. Anyway. That's just how it is. That's for another day. I'm back now.